Hi everyone, Jean-Christophe from Inspired Energy. So today we are March 22 and I want to bring a positive message during this coronavirus crisis. And the positive message is the gratitude that we must have in this difficult moment. So for lots of you it's probably going to see that it's pretty difficult to be grateful during this moment of crisis. Lots of people are sick, we see a lot of deaths around the world. We don't know when this crisis is going to be mastered, and economy is going down everywhere, business are shutting down. So we can find it eventually very difficult to be positive during this hard moment. But when you are grateful, and if you are not affected by the virus, well, every morning you should think like, I'm very lucky to be alive or not sick, and I'm lucky as well if no one of my family and friends and loved one are affected. As well, just thinking about lucky I am to be able to eat normally, be able to drink water, the minimum, having a shelter, be able to contact in case of emergencies, and knowing that the government is doing its best, even if it's not easy at this moment, and mistake has been made. They're not responsible of the coronavirus. The virus is a virus, and it goes everywhere. It got no passport, and like government said, we are at war against this pandemic. So when you are grateful, then you raise your vibration, and it helps you to be more optimistic. And I know it's difficult because we are limited in a lot of places around the world. You have to stay home. In some places you are imposed to stay home, and you cannot really go outside except for doing grocery shopping. And for some people, they still have to go to work. So we limited about visitations to our friends, families, sport activities, hobbies. Our daily routine is really messed up, and so it's a time as well to remind you during this hard moment that going back to basic and be able to survive is the most important things. All the rest is like what I call the add-ons. It's a little more make your life more spicy. But it reminds us that in certain part of the world, and a huge population are living like this all the time. They struggle to have the minimums, and there is no reason to have this minimum when we have all the technology to be able to feed everyone, and the misery could be avoided. You could be as well grateful, even if you don't see the impact in your daily life. In your daily life, of course, you can't maybe use your car because you've been you've been told to stay home, so you can't really drive and go for a drive, except if you go to go grocery shopping, for instance. So this restriction seems to you like a penalty, but the positive effect is on the environment. And this crisis of coronavirus brought us what we all know for a lot of time, and what has been said by scientists and people who are really working to protect the environment and alert about the destruction of this planet. This planet who is feeding us. So since the message hasn't been heard, I would say, in a way that it should have been heard by the people who decide, we will call them the leader of this world, who of course are trying to do their best, but it's not sufficient, it's not going faster enough, So we've been imposed a coronavirus, who are limiting us. And the big the portion of this world who is really who is going to benefit from that is the nature itself, the environment, So we've seen in a very few weeks, like especially in a big agglomeration, like big cities, that the air is pure, like 30% decrease of azote in the air. The water are getting clearer, the birds are coming back, some dolphins and some animals are getting close to the sea coast. And I'm forgetting probably a lot of that, and we are only at the beginning, I strongly suspect that this crisis is not going to be solved within a week or two. So even if I want to send a positive message, I'm not a scientist, and I'm just like a person who watch the news, or as much as I can see, and work on my hope. But in my intuition is this crisis is going to last a few months before it's over. So just be prepared to live, and condition your mind to live and go back to a basic, and enjoy and think about what is really necessary in this life, And that's my message of today. Lots of hope, be safe, be positive. We'll be going over this crisis like we did in the past. It's just a bad moment. I know we're going to be affected, the economy, and we're all going to suffer of it, including people who have money are suffering out of that. So money is not saving you all the way. So this is my message, and all the best to you. Ciao.